Hey everyone, welcome back to Immediate Movie Reactions. I'm here after seeing The Woman in the Yard. This film stars Danielle Deadweiler, who is a newly single mother because her husband died in a car accident. She has two young children. Looks to be, probably like early teens and then maybe 6 or 7 years old. And she is sort of dealing with the trauma and the depression that comes after losing a spouse, after they've renovated their dream house, and she doesn't quite feel that same, right? She isn't sure about her life. She isn't sure where to go from there. And that's really where this movie was kind of a surprise for me. I thought this was going to be a standard sort of ghost story. I was hoping maybe it would be sort of a Southern Gothic voodoo tale, talking about those Appalachian stories. But it wasn't quite there. This was a movie that was really about mental health and trauma. And if you have any concerns with any of that, then maybe this movie does need a trigger warning at the beginning, even though it doesn't really want to give it away. I would say, because I can't give too much here, I don't want to spoil anything, right? I would say if you watch this film, pay close attention to the paintings and the pictures and even the marquees that you see as Deadweiler is out to dinner with her husband. I think that they do a really good job of the woman in the yard and how she becomes this menacing and looming presence, and what effect is it having on the kids and Deadweiler, and I believe her name is Ramona. That's what it is, Ramona. And actually, that's pretty key to the story. There's a couple of notes that even now that I'm thinking back on it, I didn't pick up on, and I come kicking myself for it. But there's some really cool things that once you get to the end of this film, you can look back and be like, oh yeah, that's exactly. And this is kind of like, I know this movie kind of came and went, but the Halle Berry one, Never Let Go, where it was billed as one thing and then kind of ended up being something else. I think that's where this is, and I actually quite enjoyed this film. There's some really excellent shadow play. Sometimes there's a little bit of cliche, right? As the spirit, devil, ghost, they're never quite, clear on what it is, or maybe they are. I'm not going to say. But anyway, as that thing is sort of terrorizing the family, they do the standard, the shadow looming in the background, the kid walking into the room, and you can see the spirit, the ghost, on the wall behind her, or a door closes a little too loud, right? And it's that jump scare. I do think that there's a scene we know, right? Horror movies, don't go to the basement, don't go to the attic, but they of course go to the attic, and there's a scene with a flashlight spinning around because there's a cool play of light and dark, and can she exist in shadow, or does she need shadow, or does she need light, or whatever it is, right? That's all kind of cool. But this flashlight is spinning around, and just the strobe light, and I've said this in some of my other videos, it really kind of bothered me. But fortunately, that's pretty short. And what that does is that leads to the basically last act of this film, where everything kind of ties together and it sort of starts to make sense, except unfortunately, it also doesn't, because as things are revealed, you start to question, how did any of this happen at the beginning, or did it happen at all, right? And I think that that's where it's interesting, because you can still question the reality of everything you saw while feeling like, I just saw something sort of impactful. I will say, and this is not to do with the film, but there were people in front of me that just on their phones and talking the whole damn time. And come on, don't go to the movies, right? Just don't go to the movies. If that's what you're going to do, just stay home. So I'm sorry. I'm encouraging so many people to go to the movies and all that sort of thing. But damn it, especially a movie like this that is so strong and so serious, and it becomes about sitting in that darkness and sitting in that quiet and seeing what is going on with Ramona. I don't know, it just felt like it was breaking it up. So anyways, see it, stream it, or skip it. Actually, I'm going to say see it, because this movie is billed as a super scary ghost type movie, and it's not quite. I think that this is, even for people who don't really like scary horror movies, I thought this was going to be sort of a Woman in Black sort of situation, but it wasn't. I don't think it was really super scary, for me. And I think that it's a damn good story, and the acting is just superb. So there we are. See this movie. If you have seen it, what did you think? When did you figure it out? What do you think really happened? Please let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you after the next movie.